Oneida, Kansas City, and welcome back. We've been on for a while because we've been having a bit of technical difficulties going on, so I do want to apologize for that situation. But let's first talk about what's going to go on for the rest of our show today here on Kansas City. We're going to be talking. We have an update that we meant to bring you back in November of an Arizona girl and her mother, and we have some shocking news on that. Plus, we have more information on the closure of Renaissance Academy, and I have my opinion and the backbone story in that in just a bit as well, and the Kansas City, Missouri public schools situation that is currently taking place. And we go in depth of the election of 2012, and why do I think all of the candidates running for president are a bunch of baloney except for one. And I'll tell you who's doing what and who's not doing what they're supposed to do. But first, let's get into our update, and this is an update of Jazzy Shockley. Now remember, we brought you this story a while back in our show, and it was that Jazzy Shockley was missing, and they couldn't find her. But here's an update of her mother, Jerice Hunter, who is the mother of Jazzy Shockley, has charges of child abuse, and this is directly related to Jazzy Shockley's disappearance. And this is according to the Glendale, Arizona police. The FBI and police served a search warrant on Hunter's apartment complex where Jazzy disappeared on October 11th, and arrested her mother there. This is what the police said, it is highly likely that that Jazzy will be found alive. So with that said, that gives me one or two things based on that mother. And I'm going to give you more information here on this lady here in just a minute. But just that information alone tells me that Jerice Hunter was up to no good. Now let's get to her background. Hunter's criminal history of allegedly abusing her children had drawn to public suspicion to what role, if any, she might have played in her daughter's disappearance. Hunter was charged with child abuse in 2006, according to court documents. She was accused of torturing her 7-year-old daughter and causing corporal injuries rather, to 3 of her other children, and currently those children are in state custody, and I'm not sure what's going on now with the children. I'm sure they're probably in foster care homes as of right now, or still in state care, which is obviously foster home or in some kind of thing like that. Now, Hunter's ex-husband, George Shockley, who is Jazzy's father, let's see here, also participated in the alleged abuse. He is currently in prison for his conviction as a sex offender. Now this has a red flag that no one else has picked up. Why would Jerice hook up with a man that was a sex offender and she knows she has kids? And one reason it tells me that is because she doesn't care. Now they let her out of that because of overcrowding, let the mother out of jail for overcrowding and other things of that nature. And I do believe, however, she shouldn't have been let go for good behavior or whatever they did. But that tells you what's wrong with our justice system, and I don't think it's a justice system, and it is an unfair system. And Jazzy didn't deserve that treatment, if indeed, which I have no doubt that she has done the unthinkable to her child. We have no indication that Georgie Shockley was seen, is found, or anything like that. But I do have this to go off of. Georgie was last seen by her 3 older siblings in their apartment building nearly 2 weeks ago, according to this report. While Hunter said she was out running an errand, she left her 3 older children doing chores in the backyard, and locked, here's the catcher, and locked Georgie inside so she would be safe. Hunter's 4 other children, as I said, are in state custody, and their ages is 6, 9, 13, and a newborn. So that tells me that I don't think Georgie Shockley is going to be found alive. I would hope so, but as I've often said, we're going to keep you updates on this story as it happens, if we get any more updates in 2012. Now, let's move on to the Kansas City, Missouri School District. As of right now, the Kansas City, Missouri School District is in the current position to lose their accreditation on January 1st, 2012. And we also reported this story to you on the previous show. And as recently, there's a big battle going on between the surrounding school districts that the Kansas City Public School is surrounded by, should I say. There's a current battle of how much tuition should the district pay, and if the district should provide transportation. And as currently, the school district went with the mayor's plan, and I don't have anything in depth in terms of the mayor's plan as of right now, because we've had a short show time today to discuss some of these things with you. But I can tell you this, that it's from what I've gotten information based upon the mayor's plan, students, it would be a waiting time before students could transfer to these surrounding area school districts that surround Kansas City Public Schools. It would, and I guess as well, it would hold off factoring in the test scores for a time being until they have a definite plan of what's to do, with a plan of action. But here's what I think about the Kansas City, Missouri School District's plan or situation now. They could have made a plan. They could have made a plan, but didn't. Excuse me. I'm not going to be hard. I'm not going to even put a slap on the wrist, because they know better. And what needs to happen, and I hate to say this, but I'd rather for this to happen than have the state take it over. The Kansas City, Missouri School District, or public schools as they are now formerly called, should be split up. And I hate to say this, but it's true, because the board has not been helpful in terms of providing a plan of action and what to do in terms of raising these test scores up so that way they can regain accreditation or provisional accreditation. I would hope that they would put together a plan, but more likely I don't think so. They just went with the mayor's plan, and that's all that they have done. And this is ridiculous. I can see parents leaving the school district, and a significant amount, as we've gotten reports saying that the Kansas City Public Schools parents and families have acquired information about transferring to surrounding school districts, and that has caused school districts across the metro area to ask Kansas City Public Schools what plans and how much money are they willing to pay and things of that nature. So this is a big battle, and I think this is going to be a continuous battle, and we'll be sure to keep you updated on that as soon as we get more information. There's another hearing based on this information on the surrounding school districts in the KCPS. I think on January 12th. So we'll be sure to let you know the outcome of that. And as they just went through a recent hearing on that, and the judge denied the surrounding school districts' request to hold off on transferring students. So what is it? But here's my other factor in that: what is going to happen to these students coming January 1st? What's going to happen? Are they going to be able to, or do they have to stay in the district? Can they transfer to schools? What is going on? But I do have a few suggestions for parents that, what is it that I'm trying to say, Galvin, that have some worry about, that is worried about the outcome of the Kansas City Public Schools and things of that nature, and the surrounding schools' decision in terms of tuition and transportation. And you want to make a quick decision right then and there, and don't have to keep waiting on some items. So here's my suggestions. I would look into charter schools for right now, and I would look into accredited charter schools, and especially for our senior families, senior student families, and you need to look for a school that is accredited, that is as well can take credits. And parents, if I were you, I would do the math and see the difference between how many credits that your student have accumulated during one semester, during this past semester, and see how many would they have to calculate to get in terms to graduate for this next coming semester. So that way they won't be too far behind in terms of accumulating enough credits to graduate. And as well, I will look into private and Catholic schools, and I do believe that there are some vouchers being passed out for parents, and please check with your with those schools that I just said for more details. And as well, if you really are having difficulty trying to decipher the credits and things, here's what I would do. I would go up to my child's school, ask for a copy of their transcript, then turn around and go to the new school that your child and that you have decided on, and talk to the counselor at that school to see how many credits that your student might need to graduate in 2012. So that's all we have for the Kansas City, Missouri School District, and that's my recommendations for that remedy. And I would also check into other school districts and see what is their policy in terms of that, in terms of the tuition and everything else, just in case things may not go too well. So moving on to our next story. Renaissance Academy is closing its doors at the end of this academic school year. I recently took a visit up there to the high school at the Wallace campus, and I did graduate from this school in May of 2011. So what has caused Renaissance Academy's decision to close their doors? First of all, it is at the end of a 5-year, the charter school is at the end of a 5-year charter, and has no plans to renew their 5-year charter. And test scores have indicated to be low, and there was some management issues that took apart that as well. So I went up to the, as I've said, I went up to the charter school, the charter high school, And it seems like things are falling apart. I'm not going to even sugarcoat this one bit, folks. It seems like senior students are struggling to figure out what's going on. Their families are struggling to figure out what's going on. They currently are firing teachers, continuing to fire teachers, by the way, of this issue. So senior students are left in the cold. They have no idea what's going on. Some of the students, I find it so interesting, most of those students have enough credits to graduate at this time to where they don't have to come back to school in their second semester. And I find that to be funny because they lowered their graduation requirements. And they would have done that anyhow if the charter was to remain in effect. But I tell you that I do believe that the school board has something to do with the outcome of what's going on now. And I do believe no one cares at that school. No one cares about the welfare of these children, especially the senior children. Nothing is being said, nothing is organized, and that was one of their issues when I attended the school. There was no organizational things that have took place, and there's still, and as indicated for me, there's still no organizational things going on. So I do believe that maybe this is the right decision. I feel that the board has already given up their hope and have given up hope. They don't care, and it shows. As indicated by one staff member that had talked to me, it seems like they've hired teachers that just simply don't care. And this is sad to hear because students need to learn and they need to be engaged. And I do feel that students are not being engaged. But I have some teachers that are working hard, and I paid a visit into a classroom, and students seemed like they were engaged, they were having fun. But I think the glory days of Renaissance Academy is over. And on that note, we'll be right back here on Eye to Eye in Kansas City. Story. Some of the top things I like to talk about 2011 is that I graduated this past year in 2011, and that was a big achievement. But I like to talk about some celebrity things that have went on, like Charlie Sheen's winning. I'm winning. Oh man, he just acted a plain butthole on the TV. I just cracked up at that. He just a plain butthole in terms of what he was doing on TV in the interview. I'm on Charlie Sheen land. Okay, moving on. But there has been some breakups as well in terms of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver, and they're in talks of getting back together as well in terms of the new year. Which we don't know if that's going to happen, as well as Beyonce and Jay-Z expected to have a child. We don't know if it's going to be a girl or not. There are some reports that are surfacing that they already have their baby, but Beyonce, as of right now, as of accurate and official reports, is expecting her baby at any time. So we're going to see where this takes her, and when is the baby going to be due. I'm sure some of you are going to be reading the blogs and believe what you want to believe and everything like that. So what else went on? The death of Don Harmon. Don Harmon, and for those who don't know, he was the morning meteorologist at WDAF Fox 4, and he died due to a suicide. He died of a suicide attempt, and our prayers here at Eye to Eye Kansas City goes to his family and friends and colleagues, and his colleagues at Fox 4 News. So we hope that you can move on. I hope that we all can remember Don for what he has done and continue to remember him as we move forward into 2012, as he made a great impact on television and a great impact in charities and charitable giving in this community. And he will always be remembered for that dog incident on TV that happened. I did watch that, and Jay Leno did make fun of that situation, and I was cracking up. I recently watched that video today on YouTube.com. What I want to do now is talk about voting. And I need all our young people and everybody to get out and vote in this election year. Make a big impact. And after I talk about this story, I have another story related to voting in terms of the Republican Party. So what kills me is that we want to complain, but some of us who shall remain nameless don't get up and vote. And when you don't vote, you can't really complain about anything. When you do vote, you have the right to cuss, and I do believe you have the right to cuss and complain all you want to. And this is a decision that many people have to make. And it shouldn't be a religious decision. It should be an economic decision in terms of which candidate will be the best choice. Because as we continue to see, I see nothing for me in terms of the Republican candidates. So I guess my vote will have to go for my president. I don't just guess though. I know who I'm going to vote for. And I'm not telling you how to vote, and I'm not going to encourage you to vote for a particular candidate. That is your choice. But get off your rear ends and vote. Stop complaining. And if you need some information to vote, we have that information just for Kansas City voters only. Kansas City, Jackson County voters. You can log on my website, which is mrgalvin.webs.com, and we'll have a special voting section on that on the website that will navigate you to how to register to vote. And as well, if you have to renew your driver's license between now and November, you can do it at the at any metropolitan DMV office across Jackson County, all Jackson County offices. I'm not sure if it goes for any other Missouri counties or how that works in other Missouri counties, but I do know that in Jackson County only, you can register to vote at the voting board, election board, or at your local DMV office near you. So I do encourage you to vote. And before we have to sign off here, I want to give 2 shout outs from Facebook. I did throw up a status that says if you like, what was it, Tyler? Okay. If I can get some likes on Facebook, I would give you a shout out on a particular status, and I'm going to give mine 2 likes. Shout outs to Terry McRae from Kansas City, for watching and continue to watch Eye to Eye. And on that note, I do thank you for watching our show today. Log on to mrgalvin.webs.com for any show information and details that we have online, including our electric section. Until next time, don't forget to have an Eye to Eye conversation. Have a good day, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.